and welcome back. If you're just joining us, I'm Kris and this is Kyle.
Yes.
And today we're going to talk about a fun project that you can do that has to do with embroidery, whether you're a hand embroiderer or a machine embroiderer.
Yes.
So we're going to discuss a little bit of both. But we were inspired by the book Little Red Sleigh, which we just talked about during theme number 1. And you know, this Little Red Sleigh, his biggest dream in life was to become Santa's sleigh. And so, I took the dream and said, let's make Santa's sleigh. So we have a little mini quilt. What we thought would be kind of fun today is we're just going to talk to you about some of the basics of, the embroidery. And we used, you start out with using the same theme.
Right.
So why don't you tell us about that?
Okay. The very first thing, when I'm going to talk about my hand.
Yes, you're going to talk
embroidery.
hand, I'm going to talk machine.
Okay.
Yep.
So I got a piece of fabric and I cut it down a little bit, but I still left it larger than it needs to be.
I think that's important.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Especially if you're going to have a hoop.
Something to hold on to. Yes.
I forgot my hoop today, and so I didn't have one to work with, but I did it because I'm awesome.
You are awesome.
And so what we start out with is a piece of fabric, and this one, it didn't matter which side was right and wrong.
Right.
But make sure you know which is the right side and which is the wrong side. And then what we did is we got some Kimberbell,
the fusible backing.
fusible backing.
Yes.
I would recommend that you do that no matter if you're doing hand embroidery or machine embroidery.
Exactly. And you just iron that on, and it just gives it a little more stability.
Know, they can see how shiny that is a little bit. I didn't get that all the way down because I wanted to be able to show that.
Sure.
And so I did it about the same size as my fabric, and so I ironed that onto the back of my fabric.
And I did the same thing with mine. So for those of you who are doing machine embroidery, you can see here that I have my background fabric, and then I did add the fusible backing, and then I also put a cutaway stabilizer, a light mesh cutaway stabilizer, because I want to keep it into the project that is also hooped. So again, Kyle said, whether you're doing hand or machine, I think it's very, very important that you use the fusible backing.
Absolutely.
All right. So
one of my
Kyle,
reasons is because then you can't see my thread on the back to the front.
Very true. And again, it just gives a little bit more stability to your project. So let's talk about how do you transfer your design over?
Okay. I have to tell you a secret that I did today. I didn't know where these were here, and so I was tracing. And I started out putting it up against the window with the friction pen. Do you know what happens when you do that? When you've got it up there, your ink goes the other way, so you can't really get good, clear lines.
It is hard to do that, for sure.
Yeah. And so then halfway through, they helped me find it, and I started, and I could see it so much better. The trick is using one of these mini, not the mini, but the
one of the
caterpillars.
Yeah.
Yes. What a difference that made. Okay, there it is. That's the pattern.
So you're just putting the pattern there, and then you place your fabric right over top, and you can see right through there.
Yes, and I found the middle and the middle on the pattern, so I wasn't all of a sudden off to the side. And so then I just traced everything that I needed, and it doesn't have to be perfect.
No.
Because it's going to go away.
Exactly.
It's going to go away. So you're just trying to get as close as you can to the pattern.
I love it. Okay.
And all of it was done with a back stitch, or will be done.
Yes, fantastic.
Yes.
So that makes it really easy. The back stitch is one of your most basic hand embroidery stitches. So very, very simple to do. Now, I will say that many of you who are machine embroiderers, you may enjoy the relaxation of doing it by hand,
Yes,
too.
you can just sit there and just do it. And this is small enough, I can put it in my hand and do it.
Exactly.
Okay, so I've got everything traced on here. Now I'm just deciding what colors I want and where. And I decided to start out with the tree. That was green, and the only other thing that will be is the holly. And you could use the same color green, or you could get another one. And Kris had these all ready to go. She's organized is it DMC? Floss. They come in 6 strands, but I divided it up, and I used 2 strands to stitch this. And I'll do that for all of it. So then we just come and we just start stitching, a back stitch. And mine aren't all exactly the same, but that's how you know it's hand embroidery. I'm just coming up, pull that up, and it's back stitch because I'm going back to meet my other stitch. Okay, I'm going to go down there.
Yeah, we're getting an up close shot right there.
Nice.
Perfect.
Nice. Okay. And then I'm just going to come back up, maybe 1/4 of an inch. You could do less. Some people have really tiny stitches, but I'm okay with a little bit larger. That one was larger than I like, but I'm not going to pick it out because that's who I am. Okay, and I'm just following that line that I traced. And the great thing is that I could go over to the next section, like way down here, but I'm going to take it and make a knot. Don't look at my background. My back, it's actually not too bad today. All right, and I'm just making a knot in the back. So I just cut it pretty close to the knot. I don't want to cut the knot. But look at this. You can't even see my thread off to the side of that. That's the great thing about using your backing. So then I'm just going to make a knot in my thread again. And I only take maybe 24 inches, 18-inch thread. If you get it too long, you'll have knots. And yeah, it'll get tangled.
Do you like to use like a thread conditioner at all? Have you ever done that?
No.
That's also something that is very helpful.
That's a good idea.
Especially if you're having a tendency to get lots of knots. Is just use a thread conditioner over it.
What's it called?
They have lots of different names.
Do they?
Yeah, so like a beeswax or
people
something
talk
like
about
that.
beeswax. Yes. Yes.
So some out there may find that helpful.
All right. And I just made my knot. You can make your knot however you do them.
Sure.
And this one is nice and small. So then I'm just going to start on my next spot where there's, let me see, I got to see where I'm at. Here I am. I'm just coming right by the sleigh. I'm just coming up there. And I will do my first stitch forward. I kind of make up my own way of doing it. Okay, see, I've come down and then I came right back up. And then I'm going to back stitch to my first stitch. And I'm just going to do that the whole way along on all the stitching. Okay?
Okay, so Kyle, as you continue doing that,
Yep,
I finally have the right size hoop in
Okay,
there.
good.
For those of you who are thinking, I'm on a tight deadline. I got to get these things done quick. Machine embroidery is going to become your best friend. But let's go ahead and stitch. It is with a 6x10 hoop for this particular project. So the first thing that you can see is it's stitching out the ribbon for the little gift present.
And that's so great that I can tell so I can get prepared and not go, oh, I got the wrong thread in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing is you could, like I mentioned before, if you wanted this to be all red work, you could do this all as red work.
Wouldn't it be pretty all blue?
Or blue work.
Yes.
So all blue, all red, whatever it might be. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right there, and I'm going to bring it over here towards you, my friend.
Okay.
And let's
keep going.
move this out of the way. All right, so let's take a look right here. So one of the things, you're like,
looks a little bit different than mine.
Okay, that's all right. You know, but there's a lot to be said for the hand stitch look.
Yes.
The one thing that you really do get with hand stitching that you don't get as well with the embroidery machine is look how nice and thick the threads are. And there's a lot to be said for that.
I do like it.
Love that look quite a bit, where this one just isn't, you know, as heavy. So just kind of something to keep in mind as you try to decide which route to go. Are you more liking the hand embroidery look, or do you like the machine embroidery look? Either one is
as fast as that
fine.
is, I like the machine embroidery.
Exactly. Now, here's one more thing I want to make sure and point out before we end, and that is this. You're going to notice that there's kind of a funky line going on.
I saw that one. What happened?
You got to trust me on
this.
this.
I did.
Did you trust me?
I trusted you all the way.
Because that was just meant to just get over to this quicker.
Because you're going to stitch over that.
But it's actually going to be stitched over. So you're going to see that this line is not as heavy as the other lines that do show. Because this is a single run stitch. So the stitches that go over will cover that completely, and you have fewer stops in between. That means this is going to stitch out really, really fast.
Nice.
All right.
And I don't see any jump stitches that we have to make
And no
sure.
jump stitches.
Yes.
Nope, there are no jump stitches. So, all right, so that is basically how it goes.